Okay, so a few of you have asked about how to comment on the lectures if you're not attending them, because there's a little bit of confusion about that, so I wanted to go ahead and explain that. So this is for students who have either taken the course previously or those who don't have consistent access to internet and have messaged me specifically about not attending the lectures. So if that's not you, you can go ahead and just stop this video right now. Although it might be interesting to you to see what's going to happen. So anyway, this will be a quick just an explanation of what to do in those situations. Okay, so what's going to happen is on every Thursday, as usual, we will have a live that everyone's expected to attend unless you're excused. And that recording will be made and then it will be posted both to the Microsoft channel as well as my YouTube playlist, as well as I think you can also for 21 days download it off of the Microsoft Teams page. It will go in the specific channel on Microsoft Teams that for that lecture, and I'll show you that in just a second. And that's where I want you to ask your question and comment in order to get credit for attending the course. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen and you can see kind of what I'm talking about. Okay, all right, so what you should be seeing now is you should be seeing my Microsoft Teams program for this channel, for this team, for the CSE 101 team. Okay, so right now I'm under the general. This is where it's recording here right now. Okay, so what I'm going to start doing, some of you may have noticed that I've made these different channels thanks to, I believe, Vusal. Yeah, no, it wasn't Vusal. Who was it? I'm blanking. I'll remember. I'll comment and make sure to give credit where credit's due. But one of the students suggested that I do this, that I kind of separate it out into channels like this. And I think it's a really good idea to make it easy, and especially for what I'm about to explain. Okay, so here you have the different channels. This was week 1, week 2, week 3. We took off week 4 because of the holiday. All right, and then this will be where week 5 will go. We'll start talking about math, characters, and strings. Okay. All right, so when you go into here right now, you don't see anything. There's nothing in there, right? Because we haven't had that class yet. But once we have that class, you'll see something that looks like this, right? So you'll see a download option for the video. You'll see the chat from the class. So like in this one here, where is it? That's the programming assignment. Okay, so like right up here we have, okay, this class here has all these replies to it. So you'll see stuff like that. So you'll see like all kinds of replies and the recordings and stuff. Okay, so that's what you'll see inside of this channel from now on. For these ones that I've made, I've gone ahead and linked to the one in the general where it's supposed to be, so you can get to it pretty easily. All right, so what I want you to do is if you're excused from attending the lecture and you don't live attend, then what I want you to do is I want you to watch the video. Then after the video is done, okay, I want you to come over here and click on new conversation. So you type new conversation and you type a question related to the topic. So and it needs to be a valuable question, not something like what is 2 + 2, or what is, and not a very hard question like what is the meaning of life or something like that. What I want you to do is I want you to ask a question that's related to the topic. So how can we get access to something, or how large can a string be, something like that. Okay, so you'll ask that question. You'll hit enter or click on post over here. If this wasn't here, you could see it. There you can click on post, right? Okay, so that's the first part, and that has to be done by Tuesday midnight. Okay, Tuesday night midnight following the lecture. So you have 4 days around in order to watch the video and ask this question. Okay, so I'll just go ahead. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and post this here. Okay. Right, so now you've asked your question. That's part of what you're required to do. Okay. Then what I want you to do is I want you to come back here, right, later and see what some of the other students have asked. Okay, some of the other students who have been excused, I think there's about over 20 of you or so, right? A number of students are excused, and you will come back and you'll say, and you will find a question that you want to discuss. So make sure you ask a question that's kind of a discussion question, maybe not something that has a simple answer, but something that we can discuss. And so here I want you to submit an answer or maybe a follow-up question. Maybe, does string have a limit? I didn't think it did. Okay, something like this. So you're engaging in the conversation, right? So you and this other student are having a conversation. Okay, so what I hope will happen also is that then the original poster can also comment back, and then other students, this is for those of you who aren't excused from the lecture, right? Other students maybe can also chime in and can also comment on these posts, right? So that's what I would like to see, is for this discussion to happen. Now remember, every one of you who's excused from attending the lecture has to start a new conversation. Do not put your question into the comments of someone else's question. I won't count that. That won't count for attendance. You need to put a new conversation to start a new. So what we should see is after the main up in here, after the main video for the lecture and the main discussion of the lecture up here, what we should see is something like 20 or so questions and discussions down here. Okay, and again, for those of you who do actually attend the lecture live, feel free to comment on these as well. You know, get the discussion going so that we can discuss these things and then kind of use this tool the way that it was intended to be, the way this Microsoft Teams tool is intended to be used. Okay, all right. I hope that clears everything up. I hope this makes sense to you. And yeah, so what I'll do is I'll unshare my screen and I'll go ahead and end the recording. And if you have any questions, again, this will be posted. This is going to be in the general channel. I will go ahead and download this, post it to stream and to YouTube as well, so you can view it there. And then, yeah, and so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. Make sure you get this cleared up. I don't want anybody to lose points for not attending just because they didn't understand what the expectations were. Okay, all right. Have a good rest of the Monday today, and I will see you on Thursday.